Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Politics is a very dirty game. President Uhuru Kenyatta has managed to plant a mole and a spy around the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto. That story has been here with us, but the media has finally managed to capture it. I was reading the Star newspaper. There's a section which I normally love because smart people read the Star. They have a column called Corridors of Power. That Corridors of Power normally has gossips, which are actually the truth. Now, in that corridor, they're saying, is a mole causing trouble in the Hustler Nation? Well, there are reports that the Deputy President, William Ruto's camp has been hit by claims of espionage. The latest incident involves leaked classified information involving meeting held at the DP's Karen residence. Our mole, aware of the protocol breaches, told Corridors that one of the newest recruits has been identified as having been responsible for leaks to a rival team. A furious DP Ruto is said to have ordered enhanced screening of politicians accessing his conference rooms. A ban on access with any electronic gadget has also been imposed, which means if you want to go and see the Deputy President today, if you used to go with your phone, that phone will be left at the gate. Again, now there are no screening people. You don't just get into that conference room. So in this video today, I want us to look at why President Uhuru Kenyatta would actually go ahead and plant spies around the Deputy President. But before we do that, there are three incidences, there are three political developments which are taking place in this country today. Number one, Jimmy Wanjigi has indicated or is actually making moves to block the ODM party from holding its National Delegates Conference on 25th and 26th. What is Jimmy Wanjigi's game plan? Because if you ask me, that NDC is supposed to be the one which is going to declare Raila Odinga as their preferred candidate. And then on 26th, Raila Odinga will officially be endorsed by none other than President Uhuru Kenyatta. So what is Jimmy Wanjigi's game plan? I once told you here that Jimmy Wanjigi is actually not working in favor of Raila Odinga, in favor of ODM party. He has some other objectives. And once he was kicked out, Jimmy Wanjigi went to Kalonzo Musyoka. And again, there he was kicked out. So he's now coming back to the party. What is his objective? That's another video which probably we need to look at. Then Peter Munya, the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, has also addressed the media. And Peter Munya will not be resigning from government as a Cabinet Secretary because he's not going to contest any political seat. Why is this happening? Because everybody expected Peter Munya to go and try to get back his gubernatorial seat from Kiraitu Murungi. I'm only seeing two things here. Either President Uhuru Kenyatta prevailed on Peter Munya to stay as a Cabinet Secretary, or number two, probably Peter Munya is going to be Raila Odinga's running mate. But Peter Munya has stated that they're going to use all their time, energy, and resources to make sure that Raila Odinga becomes the president. So that's something we also might need to look at. You let me know. And something which I'm going to do after this is Ababu Namwamba's appointment by William Samoei Ruto to head his international relations. The truth of the matter is that the Deputy President is doing so well. But one thing he has been facing, international networks. And there's no way you can become the President of the Republic of Kenya if you don't have those international connections. So Ababu Namwamba, I'm waiting to see whether he's going to pick up that role and whether after picking up that role, he's going to resign. And if he won't resign, whether he's going to be kicked out. because President Uhuru Kenyatta will definitely fill the new vacant positions. So why is his appointment? Why is the deputy president appointing Ababu to this position? That's something we are going to do next. But let us now go back and try to dissect the spies around the deputy president's office. And by the way, before we do that, if you are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second, click that subscribe button now. I'm waiting for you. Just click it so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Now, let us go back to the main issue. Why would President Uhuru Kenyatta plant spies around the deputy president? Let me tell you a story a bit. I don't like stories, but let me just tell you this story. In 2017, Raila Odinga contested for the presidency. But Raila Odinga's secretariat was actually full of spies. I got the opportunity and the privilege to be appointed as one of the online soldiers to work for Raila Odinga. Myself and some other 4 gentlemen who are doing the work for ODM. We never served in those roles. Just before we could take over our roles, some people came from nowhere and they took charge of communications. So when we went for a meeting, they brought almost 50 people. And you are like, the job we are doing is very sensitive. And because it's sensitive, we cannot have more than this number. And if it has to be like that, then we have to sieve so that we have that outer people, that 50 people, then it's sieved again up to a certain level. So those guys made sure we never worked there. But we warned them that most of those people they are putting there are actually moles. So just before the election, so we went and we just took a low profile. So they continued. We just continued supporting Raila Odinga because we were passionate at that time. Then when it reached just a few moments to the elections, these people started talking. I started seeing them online, pointing out that, oh, this time around, if we are defeated, let's just accept. That's the information. So because we were still in some WhatsApp group. So we realized that these guys were preparing our team for the rigging. So after the elections, then we were called by Raila Odinga. And Raila Odinga was actually surprised that we were not part of that team. We were not part of his team. And he was also surprised that new people had actually managed to get in. So it's normally very important for politicians to penetrate opponents. I want to give another example. Now, this one I was physically present. When you were working at Okoa, Kenya, I was working at Okoa, Kenya, when they were collecting signatures. And then when it reached the time of data entry, because they had collected the signatures, the books were there, we had received the books, we had covered everywhere. Then I was telling my senior, my boss then, Engineer Kari Orege, that there's a problem here. So Kari Orege, being a smart guy, started listening to me. Then some people somewhere, just came and frustrated Orege. Then a guy was made as the in charge now of that data entry. This guy came with a team of 20 people. When he was asked, oh, those are students, to do the data entry. Those are the people who actually drew those dogs, those cats, and the rest. Because in real sense, Okoa, Kenya collected enough signatures. So when this guy brought on 20 people, a lot of intelligence guys were able to penetrate the system at that time. So it's very important for everybody to always have their ears on the other side. And that's exactly what President Uhuru Kenyatta did to Raila Odinga in the last election. So that when Raila Odinga was in a strategy meeting, whatever he was discussing, the president was getting wrong. In fact, it reached a point at some point when Itumbi, like these guys would meet, they would prepare a statement. Even before that statement was released, Itumbi would have the information and relay. And ODM supporters were asking themselves, who is leaking this information? So it's normally this idea of planting spies and informers and moles. So basically what the president has done to the DP is that he has successfully now managed to install or to plant spies around him. And why is this important? Number one, it is important for President Uhuru Kenyatta to steal William Ruto's strategy. You know, moving forward, William Ruto has his strategy. I want to go to Kakamega. Who am I going to talk to? How are we going to go there? What is our formation for Kakamega? What are the issues and the rest? So once they steal the strategy, then they are able to now deal with the DP. Probably this is why the trip in Kakamega, the trip in Vihiga, and the trip in Busia, in my view, failed. Because these guys were now able to raid William Ruto's strategy and thwart those strategies at that particular level. So that's number one, stealing the strategy. The second one is to cause disunity. You know, when a team is united, then it's strong. When a team is divided, then there's suspicion. William Ruto's team has been united all along. But once an element of suspicion is going to emerge, then the team is going to be divided. And that's going to create problems for the DP. For example, who is leaking this information? Is it possible that the guy we recruited latest, let's say Wetangula, because like when NASA was there, these are facts, when Oka was there were claims that Wetangula used to leak information. So is it Wetangula? And if it's not Wetangula, for example, then he's being accused, but it's not him. It's not him. You know, sometimes you can be accused, but it's not you. Assuming Wetangula is being accused, but it's not him, what do you think will run in his mind? And assuming it's going to be someone who was brought on board, because according to the story, someone who came on board. Let's say the person who came on board recently and was close to Uhuru is Waiguru. What if it will emerge that is Waiguru? Division. And once the division emerge, then a team cannot deliver. They'll start mistrusting, they'll start infighting. So that's what the president wants. Number three is counterplan. You know, if you have information about what your opponent is planning to do against you, you can always plan ahead of them. That's exactly what the president is doing. You know, like you are wondering how the president was able to thwart William Ruto's to thwart Ruto Mudavadi huge event in Kakamega, in Western, in general. So the president just went, attacked the DP. The limelight shifted to the DP. Maybe they had known what the DP was planning. So the truth of the matter is that for any politician to have a counter plan, if they are planning to go to Kakamega, then you can plan to counter that move by organizing even people to disrupt or doing any other things or organizing a parallel event somewhere else to take credit. I don't know. But the truth of the matter is that President Uhuru Kenyatta has successfully managed to install a mole in Ruto's camp. And that's going to be very dangerous for the DP. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.